All right, people, we're back. It's another episode of Fun and Truth in Black and White with Pat and Jay. Pat, what's going on?
What's up, man? All-Star Weekend. I'm not really watching anything, just getting alerts on my phone. I'm sure it's exciting for those involved, but other than that, it's another day, kind of cold weekend in New York. What about you?
Tonight's episode, it's complicated, I'm complicated.
I can read right into that.
All right.
I think we're talking about relationships, but a unique kind of relationship.
That's exactly right. So, you have your social media status that it's complicated, and then you also, might have a situation that you're complicated. So in this particular case, let's talk about relationships where you are in another relationship and you have a relationship with somebody who's
let's raise the ante though.
Okay, raise the ante.
Both people are married to somebody else.
Okay.
Now, not just a relationship. Because if you have a girlfriend, somebody else has a boyfriend, there's levels to commitment.
Right.
If you're married, legally married, it's more strings because neither one of you can just up and leave.
Right.
You can up and leave physically, but there's still paperwork, and in some cases property.
Right.
Children could be there regardless, marriage or not. But if you have a layered situation where there's property, legalities,
right,
and children,
right,
like legally married with children, both people in a relationship married to other people,
right.
There's not meant. It gets no more layered than that.
Well, you add on to that the fact that whatever's going on in those relationships. So now, is the person married to someone and they're together married, or are they separated? What's the deal going on?
See, now we get into it, right? So, let's take the guy.
Okay.
His marriage is done.
Okay.
They're married.
Yeah.
They're living together. They haven't even discussed divorce.
Right.
But they're in an unhappy marriage.
Okay.
And he's actually looking to leave the marriage.
Okay.
Even though it hasn't been discussed in his house yet.
Right.
The woman he's with is happily married.
Mm-hmm.
She's fucking him for sport.
Okay.
She's fucking him as a hobby.
Right.
Something to do.
Okay.
Someone to do. She might even be madly in love with him, but she has no plans, desire, issues at home. She's not trying to leave home.
Gotcha.
Home is good.
Home is good.
She's cheating just to cheat.
Okay.
She's not. People always say something like, oh, if a woman cheats, it's because something's lacking at the home. But if a man cheats, he's just being a dog. I'm here to tell you, there are women, I'm not going to get into the ratio, but it exists. There are women who fuck to fuck.
Right.
It's the truth. I'm not saying anything bad about them.
Right.
Not all women are running to the arms of another man looking for something other than dick. Like, not women are saying, my man doesn't speak to me nicely, this guy does.
Right.
I have a void.
Right.
Sometimes it's just not that deep.
Sometimes it's just about having the opportunity.
That's it. Okay. So, anyway, so this guy is like, if I meet the right woman, I'm out.
Right.
I'll, uproot my family, break up the home, lose whatever I lose in court. I'll do whatever I have to do just to go be happy with somebody else.
Right. Right.
She is like, this guy's cute. I want to sleep with him.
Right. So they wind up getting together.
Right.
Now they have a situation, it's complicated, and it's even more complicated because she's got a good situation at home that she's not trying to leave, and he's looking to her as the new situation.
So now, in the beginning, it's not a problem because he's not going to dump everything on her in the beginning.
Right.
They hang out. He's thinking to himself, she's already decided she's going to fuck him.
Right.
He's thinking to himself, I got to play my cards right, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
They sleep together. So now both are seeing, let's see if it's good.
Right.
They sleep together, it's good. Hanging out is fun.
Yeah.
It's followed by sex. Everything is cool.
Yeah.
At some point, this cat is like, well, what are we going to do now? You know, like, so I was talking this, and she's like, whoa. I was trying to have a good time, homie. Like, I'm not like, I'm not trying to leave home. And I purposely chose the guy as the sap because whenever you hear these stories, the implication is the woman is ready to leave home and the guy just wants to play around.
Right.
And that's not fair.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So this dude is like, you know, he has harps playing in the background. He's like, you and I forever, let's go away. I will leave everything. My kids will understand.
Right.
I'll tell her, let's be together. She's like, but you're my Tuesday, Thursday.
Right. Right.
He's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You're making me feel like a piece of meat.
Mm-hmm.
Pun intended. You know, and now here is where it becomes complicated. So now what happens?
So now she's got to decide how is she going to accommodate him without upsetting the apple cart at home. And that's a big deal. Because, again, you can't, if you have a good situation at home, you can't wreck that situation. The only thing that you can do is kind of figure out a way to, balance it while giving the other person as much time as possible. And the issue is that the other person may become more and more demanding of your time.
So let's talk about Tuesday, Thursday.
Right.
Why did I say that? I said that because she's not trying to give him as much time as possible. Because the reason why, and make a note of this for a future podcast, the reason why women don't get caught and men do is because women don't break their routine for nothing.
Okay.
So the only time a woman is going to break her routine and give the side piece as much time as possible is if she wants a future with him.
Right.
Right? Because Tuesdays are her gym night.
Right.
Thursdays, she teaches a class, or she works late, or she does volunteer work, or sees her girlfriends. My point is, the days she's carved out times that she's not going to get questioned.
Right. Right.
Times with her husband, who she's happy with, thinks this is where she is at these times. He's not questioning her because their pace of sleeping together hasn't changed. Her routine hasn't changed. Why would he think anything?
Right.
Because even if she wasn't sleeping with this dude, she would still be out Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
Right? So he fits perfectly into her plan.
Mm-hmm.
The guy she's sleeping with is no different than tennis or yoga. It is an activity for her.
Right.
There's no depth to it at all.
Right.
So the second this guy wants more, she's looking at the front door.
Right.
Main source reference for you hip hop heads out there. So she's thinking to herself, dag, he's good in bed. We get along. He was married. I thought the sides were even.
Right.
I had a situation with a guy, or so I thought, that wasn't going to cause me any drama. I thought he had a wife and kids. I have a husband and kids.
Right.
The days work for both of us. It's convenient. Damn, now what I'm going to do? Now, you know what she's thinking to herself? Ask me what she's thinking right now.
What's she thinking?
She's thinking, I'm going to keep fucking him until I find somebody else. And if I
Right.
don't find somebody else soon, I'm going to have to cut this guy off.
Right.
Because she can already see he's going to be a problem.
Right. Right. All right. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right. So we're back. Pat, you were just going into the fact that the situation, the girl is happily married and the guy is unhappily married. They're sleeping together, having a relationship, but she's looking at it as completely physical, not that emotionally drawn into it. He, on the other hand, is catching feelings for her. Now,
He wants more.
he wants more. Now, she obviously is going to drop him at some point because she can only give him so much. Let's look at it from the standpoint that they both want more. Now what happens?
I think it's good
Yeah,
because the stakes are even.
right.
See, when you're on the same page,
Yeah,
there's drama, but the drama that there is like expected and accepted drama.
yeah.
So like, both people have to go through a divorce. Both may have to sell a home or two or whatever. Both have to tell their kids what's going on.
Right,
Both have to worry about being the villain. Right? And there's extra layers to that, like how old are the kids?
right.
You know, how close are the kids to the parent? You know, are the spouses who are being left bitter? You know, because there are people that have amicable divorces. Like,
Right.
person's like, you know what? It wasn't working out anyway. This sucks. Let's figure out a peaceful way to split our properties. You know, let's figure out visitation for the kids.
Right.
Somebody else is like, fuck you. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to take everything you have.
Yeah.
Another person might be like, oh, you're not going anywhere. I'm not signing those.
Right.
Right. So those dramas don't make it easy, but in those situations, at least they want the same thing.
Right.
So they're both in love, and everything I just mentioned, none of it is fun, but all of that is different and expected. It's different than I love her, she doesn't want to be with me, or I love him, he doesn't want what I want. So long as both sides are even, it's got a shot.
Right.
When they're lopsided, though, bro.
Yeah, that gets really tough.
Cause take it like this. It's lopsided.
Yeah.
The person who didn't want to leave now has extra drama. Think about it. The person that wants to be together and form this new blended marriage and all that stuff,
Right.
that person, what if they don't take no for an answer? What if they're like, oh, you've been fucking me all this time and I want to be with you and you don't want to be with me? And I know you love me and we can do this. What if they begin stalking you?
Right.
So now you're happy at home.
Right.
You're trying to have some fun on the side.
Yeah.
And now you cut this person off. This person who you're no longer sleeping with has your number, your email, they know where you work, and you're happy at home.
Right.
So now you're watching your back. Like, yo, this person might blow my whole shit up. So think about it like this. This other person now is crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy because they think they have to coax you or force you or persuade you into being with them full time.
Right.
Right? So on their end, they're being totally erratic, but they think they're being normal.
Right.
So now you're in a situation where you're not messing with this crazy fool anymore,
Right.
and you might lose home anyway.
Right. Right.
Because now you're watching your back. What if you're in public now looking over your shoulder like, fuck?
So basically what you're saying is it's not just complicated, it's fucking fire that you're
Bruh.
playing with. So you get into these situations because you want to have fun and you're thinking that by being married it's going to be easier because the other person has responsibilities so they can only give you so much
If
time.
the sides are even.
Right, but then once you catch feelings, now it gets more complicated and it could be fire because if one or both parties wants to now make this new situation work, but you've got all sorts of shit going on both sides and you're trying to navigate, and then you talk about blended families, obviously the other parties have to be willing to that as well in terms of accepting that this new relationship is going to occur.
Here's the thing. Not all marriages are created equal.
Right.
So let's say you're like, you know what? I have my spouse. Things are good. I'm happy. I want to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm going to go find somebody who's also married with 2 kids.
Right.
You think that makes it even.
Right.
But you don't know the details of their marriage.
Right. Right.
So, if you're going to go there, then what you need to do is find out a lot about the person first.
Right.
I'm not sure how to go about doing that, but I'm just saying, like, maybe it's gonna sound weird, but maybe like chill with them first. Like before you take it there.
Right.
Because you might, in getting to know them, you might figure out, this person is trying to jump ship.
Yeah.
They've got drama in their house.
Right. Right.
So it's not actually even.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's obvious. Like you go to cheat on your husband, and the guy you're cheating on your husband with is single.
Mm-hmm.
And like wants a family.
Right.
That's just a flashing wrong way sign.
Right.
This dude is not the dude you want to be with. Because you put it on him, you turn him out. He's at your door.
That's right. He's not leaving.
So those are obvious. A woman could be like, I ain't messing with this cat.
Yeah.
Because I can clearly not give him what he wants.
Yeah.
But you see this other dude, this dad, and you kind of witness, you kind of see he's looking at you, he has a spouse, you kind of see it's even. Maybe that's your target.
Right.
But then there's I don't know, like maybe be more observant. Like if you see like this guy you're checking out, and you kind of see that him and his wife have a contentious relationship.
Right.
You might want to avoid that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to swoop in as the savior.
Right. Well, not only that, but you don't know what's really going on. That maybe this guy just creates, tension and everything that he does.
Now here's a question for you.
Yeah.
You always flip it on me. I'm going to flip it on you.
Mm-hmm.
Is the answer, if you're going to set out and cheat, is the answer in dishonesty? Meaning, if you're a guy looking to cheat on your wife,
mm-hmm.
and we just kicked like 4 or 5 scenarios.
Right.
So if you like want a quick fix,
right.
and you don't want to vet and go through having to pick the right scenario,
right?
Is it better to make like online profiles of yourself and not lie and not tell the truth and not give your real identity and kind of put yourself out there so you're not at risk?
Right.
So now there's a burner account.
Right.
Your cell phone, you have a side email address.
Right.
You just don't put all that out there. So if it works out and y'all sleep together, so be it. But if it doesn't work out,
right,
you can bail easily. Like,
right.
is that the safer way to go for the person that wants to cheat without all these potential hiccups?
Well, I think that sounds like the safer way to go. I can't necessarily say that it is. Let's put it this way. I think that for anybody who wants to have an extramarital affair, any type of adultery, cheating, whatever you want to call it, the least amount of headache is always best. That's what you always want to go for, is the least amount of headache. Something that is not going to, affect your home life. But being able to find that easily, that's a needle in a haystack. And, you could do all sorts of things to make it easier for you to protect yourself and, keep yourself, from being compromised. But at the same time, the people that you're trying to cheat with are going to have lots of questions for you. And the more that you can't answer those questions, or the more that your answers don't add up, is how quickly they're going to abandon ship on you. Because if things don't line up in their minds based on what you're saying, because again, if you're manufacturing everything, they're just going to look at you and be like, yo, you're full of shit. And I think that the thing about online profiles and online dating in general, with the whole catfish thing, is that most people now are far more suspicious of people in terms of who they really are, because you can manufacture an identity online.
Very easily. So let's take a break. I got one more for you.
Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Pat, you were going to give us another scenario.
I got like 2 or 3 more. Let's talk about same scenario.
Yeah.
2 married people.
Yeah.
In a relationship.
Yeah.
With each other.
Okay.
Each other's spouse. They get pregnant.
Oh.
Now.
Planned pregnancy or unplanned?
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Woman gets pregnant. She calls the side piece up. I have something to tell you.
Yeah.
The words no man ever wants to hear. Every person listening to this podcast right now, every man listening right now, when their girlfriend,
I'm late,
fiance, wife says the words, we have to talk.
Uh-oh.
You could have done
just I'm late.
but that too, but you could have you could have done nothing wrong.
Right.
Your heart stops.
Yeah.
Nobody, and then you have to wait.
Or we need to talk. We have
all
to
that type of shit. Yeah. Everything under that umbrella. But anyway, she calls him up. I have something to tell you. What, babe? I'm pregnant. He's like, congratulations. When do you do?
Right.
She's like, it's yours. He's like, how do I know it's mine? You're married. Then she starts with the crying, you know.
Right.
I'm married to him, but I've only been with you. I haven't slept with him in 6 months, and I'm 3 months pregnant. It's yours, all yours. And
right.
He's like, well, how do I know? Now he's offending her.
Right.
So she could be sleeping with her husband every day.
Right.
But she's playing. He doesn't know. He's
right.
playing. He's like, he doesn't know what to believe.
Right.
He's like, yo, listen. He might say a couple of things. None of it's gonna work. He might say things like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
What do you mean, what are we going to do? I'm having my baby, and it's yours, and I love you. And he's like, he thinks to himself, fuck.
Right.
Or he might say to her, I'll take care of what's mine, but you need to have a paternity test.
Right.
Now she's, again, what the fuck? Like, how are you going to ask me to do that? You think I've been sleeping with both of you? He's like, well, you're married to him.
Right.
She said, but didn't you tell me you're not sleeping with your wife? He's like, yeah, but I know what I'm not doing. I know what you told me.
Right.
Think about, we haven't even gotten to the pregnancy.
No matter how much of the trust that you think you have with somebody, once the pregnancy comes in, everything goes out.
We haven't even gotten into the pregnancy yet. Just the conversation about the pregnancy is more stress than it's worth.
Yeah.
Right? So what happens? Talk about complicated. It's complicated. I'm complicated. We're complicated. It gets no more complicated.
That's right.
There's another angle.
Yeah.
Another angle. The guy is the side piece.
Right.
He's married.
Yeah.
He's looking at the girl, the woman, as, look, you're cheating on your husband with me.
Right.
We met, slept together on our second time seeing each other.
Right.
How do I know I'm your only side piece? Now she's really pissed off.
Right.
Now, she might literally be sitting there not knowing who the father is and still act pissed off.
Right.
It's an act.
Yeah.
Or she might be telling the complete truth and she's only sleeping with this guy. She lives with the other guy, sleeps with this guy, and has no other side piece.
Right.
So now think about how her feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Talk about complicated.
Yeah.
What then?
Yep.
What do you do? Because the logical thing to do to make all parties happy, go take a test. Once you have that information, proceed from there.
Right.
But that's only logical to us sitting here.
Right.
The people in the situation, with the emotions flying high.
Yeah.
And then let's say it's the side piece guy's baby, and she was never lying to begin with.
Right.
The damage was done by the words.
Right. The way that he started it out.
Even though he didn't say anything mean or foul, she just took offense. And now, even if they were really, really doing well together.
Right. There's a huge bump in the
road.
Yeah.
So we're saying these things to say, before you cheat,
right.
think long and hard. Look, man, you want to cheat, that's your business.
Right.
Neither one of us here we're not on a high horse. We're just telling you the situations that can happen.
That's right.
What you want to do is what you want to do.
Now I want to throw you another curveball on the pregnancy. So now you're married, she's married. You know, the two of you are having, an affair together. It's good. You're both happy. And his wife gets pregnant.
Oh, shit. Yo, fuck it. We gonna go there? What if both women are having twins?
There you go.
Son, I mean, like, this tree
Yeah.
is growing so many branches, bro.
And then her husband gets some other woman pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny you say this, because let me tell you how this cheating game works.
Yeah.
One couple,
Yeah.
right, for the sake of this segment. The guy cheats on his wife.
Yeah.
He may have time to cheat on his wife because his wife is cheating on him.
Right.
The woman he's cheating on his wife with is also with somebody else.
Right.
That guy she's with is with somebody else.
Right.
Like, the shit is endless.
Yeah.
Like, it can literally... It's like 2 degrees separation.
Yeah.
It's
And
endless.
then the number of babies that could be
And the thing about it is...
conceived in this
Look,
scenario.
look. Do what it is you do. Do it however you want to do it. Even be irresponsible if you want. That's your business, not my situation.
Right.
But you should at least know... I wouldn't even call them pitfalls. Because they might be pitfalls to somebody who's risk averse and drama averse, like myself.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a problem with it, yo, Jay, there are people, the shit we're talking about, it's their normal day-to-day lives.
Right.
Like, they're not listening to this podcast like, damn, that sounds crazy. They're like, this is my normal week.
Right.
More power to you. Look, we're just here delivering the information. This is real shit.
So,
this could really happen to you.
Let's get into this a level deeper. Let's think about this. I'm complicated. You're married. You have a situation, even if your marriage sucks, or maybe the marriage is dead. And let's add in that you have kids to this. But you decide to get with somebody who has a complicated situation. So you have a complicated situation. And you decide to get with somebody who has a complicated situation. What is your logic in thinking that this is going to end well?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Because prior to this question that you just posed, we were talking about situations starting out for fun, then they grow to be complicated.
Right.
But if you enter into a situation that's complicated,
right,
you deserve whatever you get. Like, and I'm not saying that in mean fashion.
Right.
But if I tell you a train is coming,
right,
and you stand on the tracks,
mm-hmm.
you can't be mad when you get hit.
Right.
So if somebody's up front like, listen, I've got this situation, that situation, the next situation, I think you're hot, we could rock, but this is what I'm dealing with.
Right.
And you're like, okay. All right, well,
yeah.
that's what you want to do? Like, so those people I have, like, no sympathy for.
Right.
And I'm not saying anybody deserves to be hurt, whatever, but going in.
Okay, but I think what I'm trying to get at is that, we talked about this on a previous podcast, but women especially will say there's something about him. A guy can have a complicated situation. It can get more complicated, but for the woman, there's something about him. So they'll get with a guy, because understand, we know that men will hit anything that moves. So on the men's side, it's never complicated from that standpoint. If you say you're down, he's going to come after you. Doesn't matter what his complications are, because sex is not complicated to a man. Women, on the other hand, are the ones that really make the choice, whether or not they want to do something, right? And so if she sees that the guy is complicated, but there's something about him, no matter what the situation is, she's willing to go down the road with him. And the further down the road that she goes with him, the more she's willing to go along with whatever the complications are. Where does that stem from? What makes that scenario?
You actually summed it up in your first statement in this segment. they think their pussy can change the world.
Okay.
And we use that pussy as a metaphor.
Right.
Because, well, literally they think it's that. But separate from that, a woman will think things to themselves like, I'll teach him how to dress.
Okay.
I'll teach him how to eat with a fork and knife if he's a caveman.
Right.
We'll help him with his resume. My point is, we use pussy as a metaphor, but I think oftentimes women think they can change a man.
Okay. Okay.
So she's looking at him. There's something about him. She's in on him.
Right.
She hears his situation, but she's like, I can change him.
Right.
I can't change the situation, but I can work on him.
Right.
Which will then affect his situation.
Right.
And we'll be all right.
Right.
It could be something like, again, think of pussy as a metaphor. Like, it don't have to be so literal. Like, a woman might literally think, well, no one can fuck him like I fuck him.
Right.
No one can go down on him like I go down on him. Okay, that's real. But in addition to that, she might cook.
Yeah.
And say, once I make this meal, that's the way to his heart. She might buy him nice clothing. Mm-hmm. And say, once I buy him these shoes, these suits, whatever, it's a way to his heart. She might find out that a man really adores his mom.
Right.
So she saddles up close to the mother.
Right.
Because these are all ways under that metaphor of trying to change. So I think a lot of women think, you know what? There's that drama over there. There's the complexities over there. But my total package, or these unique things that I bring to the table, will change him, change his trajectory, change how he acts. And I think so. You were asking why? I think that's why. That's where that confidence is.
Yeah, I was about to say. So,
Yeah.
So obviously, for women, to a certain extent, it's an ego thing that they want to believe that they have the ability to make the difference in the man, so that whatever his complications are, they're aligned with, her agenda.
How many times have you known of a guy to sleep with a whole bunch of girls in a small community, like on campus or at work, or in some situation where all the girls know each other, and then but then girl number 17, she doesn't think to herself, oh, he fucked all 16 of them, I'm not next on any hit list, he's not going to cross my name off. Instead, she thinks to herself, why them and not me?
Right.
And then when she sleeps with them, she's thinking, I'm gonna do it better than them.
I'm gonna be the last one. There's
Right,
gonna be an
right.
yeah.
So take a guy.
Yeah.
This whatever small community, a gym, a neighborhood, a college campus,
Right.
whatever, work campus, you name it. This woman's running through the office or the situation. A guy might line up to be number 17.
Right.
But he's not looking at her. I mean, there's exceptions, but he's not he just wants his slice of the pie. He's not
looking to stop her from having 18.
He's like, yo, I want to get mine and get out of here. See the difference?
18.
The guy's like, this is just what she is.
Right.
Even if he's not looking at her in derogatory fashion, he's like, this is what she's down. Like, she's what she is. She's not about that settled down life. She's not the one I'm going to make wifey anyway.
Right.
Let's have some fun, move on, boop.
Right.
That woman might be like, Shayna is not as pretty as me.
Yeah.
Dolores, Keisha, whomever, I got them beat. And they said he slept with them and didn't call them back. Watch him call me back.
Right.
See the bullshit?
Yeah.
Well, let me not call it bullshit. See the differences in approach?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you asking. I got another one.
Go for it.
Let's talk about married people, right?
Right.
There's two kinds of cheating. Probably 20, but let's talk about just two.
Yeah.
There's the person that wants a regular affair.
Okay.
Regular, I don't mean regular as in mundane. I mean regular as in weekly,
consistent.
Then there's the person that just wants to play occasionally.
Right.
So they fly out of town to cheat.
Yeah.
So one person wants a steady diet.
Yeah.
In their schedule of this person they're cheating with,
Right.
who's married,
Yeah.
maybe, you know. The other person is like, I'm married. I don't want no drama. I'm going to go on business trips, wherever. I'll do my thing out of town. Then I'm not doing it in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to use the word better, like to say which is better to do. But you see the differences.
Yeah.
You know, you can get caught either way.
Yeah.
But I think the latter person is like, this is less of a chance of it coming back to haunt me.
Yeah.
And I guess, would you say that the person who chooses the go away, fly away, do it, the option, is that person doing it because they're happily married?
You know what? I think it has to do with the type of entertainment that you're looking for. If you're going to cheat, obviously you're cheating because you're bored with something. You need stimulation in some way that you're not getting at home. That's why you cheat. But how you cheat is almost as important as why you cheat, because the person who's taking the trysts on a monthly basis to different places, it's a much more sort of exotic, stealthy plan that they have to contrive each time. Why are they going away? What's going to be going on while they're away? You know, what's drawing them away? All these things that have to be developed. So it's like a, you know, stealth espionage sort of thing that they
More
gotta
plotting.
do.
More plotting. Yeah.
Whereas if it's just a consistent thing on a regular basis that's local, there's not as much planning. You know where it's going to be, you know what it's going to be, and you do it in such a way that you have the least amount of resistance from your spouse, because they don't even know. They just know that you go somewhere on a weekly basis to something. It could be golf, it could be bowling, it could be cards night, whatever it is, and they just assume, well, that's what they do at the, on that consistent night. So both have their objectives, but how you go about cheating, understand, for the person who's traveling away, the excitement is putting the whole thing together. The cheating isn't as important as everything that's surrounding the cheating. They might have a great time with the person that they're cheating with, but what's really getting them off is the whole fun of being sneaky, because of the way that they're doing it and all the things. And understand, they're probably getting their rocks off on the romance that's involved with the whole setup of going away and doing it the way they're doing it, versus the mundane weekly habits of somebody where they're not being incredibly sneaky. They're being smart in terms of finding the least resistance, the path of least resistance in how they're going to go about cheating. So, yeah, I think that answers your question.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. This is Fun and Truth in Black and White with Pat and Jay. Pat.
I got another one.
Go ahead.
So, just sticking with the similar theme from earlier, this guy's unhappy at home.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to find a replacement.
Okay.
This woman's happy at home. She's trying to have some fun.
Right.
You know, just because you go into it thinking what you're thinking doesn't mean it can't change.
Right.
He might be sleeping with her and figure out, you know what? For my taste, for what I'm looking for, this is all she's good for.
Yeah.
So, while I was looking for a replacement, she's not it.
Right.
So I've downgraded my expectations. We're just going to have fun.
Yeah.
She goes into it like, I just want some side meat,
Yeah.
and ends up falling in love.
Mm.
Shit can change. You
Right.
know, you go into it thinking one thing,
Yeah.
but what if this dude gave her more than she bargained for?
Right.
He slept with her better than she expected,
Right.
rocked her world, and then he actually won her over.
Right.
Like, calls her up on a Wednesday because they're Tuesday, Thursday.
Right.
calls her on a Wednesday. She's like, I didn't expect to hear from you today. And he's like, I was just thinking about you. Let's call to say what's up. That first time, she's like, I hope this diet doesn't become a problem. You know,
Right.
she's the one girlfriend she confides in, she's complaining, I hope he doesn't fall in love with me, blah, blah, blah. I don't want him. But then, the third or fourth time this happens, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I know we're not sleeping together today, and you have your period, so we're not even doing our Tuesday, Thursday thing this week, but I know you really like ice cream. And there's this spot I know about. I'm sending you a car. It'll bring you there. I don't want to put you out your way. I want you to try this ice cream. So now they meet up.
Yeah.
And they have the ice cream. They leave. He kisses her on her forehead or some shit. Yo, I didn't mean to disrupt your week. Thanks for meeting me. I'll see you next week for our usual session.
Right.
Now, she said, you know, at the end of the night, you're bathing, washing dishes, working out, whatever it is you're doing on your laptop, whatever. And she's rethinking her day.
Yeah.
She began to remember some jokes he told or some funny shit that happened. So now her memories aren't just fucking.
Right. They're becoming the more intimate memories of just spending time together.
So the following Tuesday,
Yeah.
their sex has a little bit extra feeling to it.
Right.
2 Wednesdays from now, he doesn't call. It's not a fuck day. And she's annoyed. She's like, why am I annoyed? Like, nothing actually happened.
Right.
But what's bothering me? She doesn't even realize she fucking fell in love. Like, she doesn't even realize it. She's like, fuck, like, and it may be happening without her even realizing it's happening.
Right.
And then there's another time she can't meet up on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
She has car trouble. And in passing or in the conversation, she's like, you know, I'm on the corner of 23rd and 8th, you know, my fucking car. And because he gathered information in the conversation, next thing you know, the tow truck comes.
Mm-hmm.
He sent it. Covered the bill. She didn't have coverage, AAA or roadside assistance. And now she was a damsel in distress.
Right.
She was in need. And this guy that was only supposed to give her good dick has now taken her for ice cream just because he felt like it.
Yeah.
And he helped her in her time of need.
Mm-hmm.
So now fast forward 3 weeks later. Now we're looking at about over a 2-month stretch. Again, now when they're fucking, it's, listen, the new alternator and the new tires, is everything working out? How's the car feeling now?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. It feels good. It feels safe. He's like, now we could fuck.
Yeah.
Just that little thing. And now she's like, shit, this dude.
Yeah.
Now, let's say during this same stretch, her husband fucks up. Let's say just coincidentally, during this stretch, he's not very considerate.
Right.
There's an argument.
Right.
He says something he shouldn't have said. Nothing that's actually that significant.
Yeah.
But the timing of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's digging himself a hole while this other dude is batting a fucking 1,000.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, matter of fact, forget arguments. What if during that stretch there's a leak in their roof and their child gets sick and just inconvenient things happen?
Right.
It's not even his fault.
Right.
But she might associate these things with her husband.
Right.
And simultaneously, this dude
It's
fucking
even more of a savior.
Dexter Sinclair
Right.
is... So think about... So see how shit can change?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, again, the moral of the story, do what you got to do what you want to do. It's your business, as long as you're not my girl.
Right.
But understand, sometimes things get complicated.
Well, not only that do they get complicated, but they get complicated within the complications. So
Yeah.
it's like you're starting off complicated, you're making it complicated, and now that complicated situation becomes more complicated. So in other words, the pathway to success here, it's like you're already starting with a Where's Waldo map. And the question is, what is your real goal? So, going back to the beginning of the episode and, creating situations, and I asked you, you know, from the standpoint of women having the choice to really get involved or not, is it that they see a pathway to a certain type of success, or is it that they see a pathway to unlimited entertainment? Because, whether it's stress or, complications of just any kind, the fact is that boring, mundane is not exciting. It is not, things that are not complicated turn people off. So the boring, the mundane, the bland, it doesn't attract people the same way that complicated does. And with complicated, it's just going to get more complicated. So the interesting thing about that is that I think that the attraction to it is the fact that it's never going to be dull.
You know what? There may be something to that. I also think it's just like short-term goals, Like, sometimes it's not... Okay, it is the complications that are attractive, but sometimes people aren't even realizing it.
Right.
Like, all they are really looking for in that moment is satisfaction or gratification. Like, fun.
Right.
Not even examining what is coming along with that fun.
Right.
It's like food. It's like you're really hungry. You eat healthy, generally speaking. But getting to something healthy is inconvenient at the time. Mm-hmm. Like, based on where you have to be, your meetings, whatever. So in that moment, you grab that fast food because it does what it needs to do for that moment.
Right.
And it's almost worth it to you. Even if but I shouldn't be doing this, but.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times people are like, I really think cheating, I don't know what the quotient is, but I think it's largely about timing and opportunity.
Yeah. All right. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Pat, I don't give a fuck about your social position. And here's what I mean. You get to a certain point in your career, in life, where you've acquired a certain amount of power, a certain amount of success. You start to position yourself differently. You drive a better car. You wear better clothes. You wear more jewelry. You speak more effectively. You act with a certain sense of self that, someone who hasn't reached that success doesn't do. At the same time, all of this positioning is to separate you from those who haven't gotten there. And what you're really doing is letting people know that you've arrived. Where have you arrived to? So just because you have achieved a certain level of success, achieved a certain level of status, a certain level of respect, you are still a human being. You are still just another schmo. Regardless of whatever fame you have, it's fleeting, it's ephemeral. And at the end of the day, we all gotta die. So really, what is it that you think your social status is doing for you that is going to make you better than everybody around you? And for me, what's most important is that if you're not using your social status to uplift others, what the fuck is the point? That's my I don't give a fuck.
Now, I dig that. I think that success, is how you measure it. There are a lot of very wealthy people that'll tell you that the most gratifying thing is giving it away.
Yeah.
Like acquiring it and then doing some good with it.
Yeah.
And there are those that acquire wealth and acquire a bunch of items. And there are those that do a balance of both. I'm not independently wealthy, but I think in the end, money just makes you more of who you already are. So if you're, kind of like boisterous or bragging about what you have and your status and status symbols, you were already that kind of person before you had a lot of. You just didn't have the items,
Right.
And if you're a very giving person, or if you laugh a lot and you get a lot of money, you'll laugh more.
Right.
If you give a lot, you have a lot of money, you'll give more.
Right.
If you're a prick, you get a lot of money, you'll be a bigger prick.
Right.
So I dig what you're saying. My PSA is about leaving people the hell alone, and specifically stalking. Look, we talk about complications today. And just in general, we speak about a lot of layered or hairy situations, no pun there, but in relationships, right? But relationships are simple. People, human beings, we're imperfect, so we complicate them. But simply put, if somebody doesn't want to be with you, you're entitled to find out why. You're entitled to get clarity. But you can't stalk somebody.
Yeah.
It becomes unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
And even in a situation where you're not doing physical harm, you're doing harm when somebody's uneasy.
Right.
And then let's say if we want to remove, if somebody says, "Oh, Pat, you're being too dramatic." I stalked somebody and I wasn't going to do anything. I was just watching where they were going.
Right.
All right, let's go with that. So we're not talking about any physical danger and any harm, right? Guess what? You got a better chance of them coming back if you leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is very hard to do that. Like when you're in love and you can't breathe without that person and they up and bounce. Or you did something, it wasn't sudden, whatever, however it happens. But they broke up with you didn't break up with them.
Right.
I know, I get it. But if you want any chance of them coming back to you, you have to let them go. A. B. If you want to maintain your respect, let them go. And I'm not saying let them go without expressing yourself. And so you can fight in that way. Mm-hmm. But after you get that out and y'all have that conversation or a series of those conversations, leave it alone because nothing good can come out of it.
Right. I not only do I agree, but I would take it one step further, is that letting them go, there's an old saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. There's another saying that, if you love someone, let them go. And if they return, they were always yours. Obviously, if they don't, they were never yours to begin with. So those are two sayings to think about. But the main thing is that when you let them go, and also when you use silence as a tactic, absence not only makes the heart grow fonder, but silence is an incredibly effective tool to making someone think about you. So letting someone go allows you to have a certain amount of strength that establishes you as a far more educated and sensible person than someone who keeps fighting for something that's not there anymore. So in other words, you were talking about, breakups, and you need to clear the air, you need to get clarity, you need to just understand why. That's one thing. But basically saying, I'll do better, please don't let me, go, stalking them, all of these different things after you've gotten that.
Well,
point.
crazy shit like, if I can't have you, nobody can. What?
Right.
What are you talking?
Yeah.
Look, man, stop. And also, too, like, so let's say you really feel that way.
Yeah.
Like you're off your rocker. Yo, it's 2020, bro.
Yeah.
Everything is traceable, trackable. Like,
Yeah.
you can't even be on the L with your shit. Like, you really take it there.
Yep.
You're on camera every step of the day. Every
Exactly right.
Just stop.
Yeah.
And like I said, even if you don't stop because of the reasons we're stating, stop, because you're gonna get caught and get in trouble.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Listen, thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for it all. We love you guys. As always, peace and love.